What is going on, everybody? Welcome for the first time back to another DLJ Works video, and I got something good for you guys today. This is actually going to be for whether you're a noob or you're a more experienced person. Probably be better for somebody that's an actual beginner, but if you're at a crossroads in your web development career, then I have something for you, a little strategy that has been working for me for the past several years now. My main job, my primary day job is going to be a technology teacher, but on the side, all right, my second career, I don't even like to use the word on the side. My second career is going to be web development and writing. So those are the two things that I enjoy doing outside of my day job when it comes to teaching technology to middle schoolers. But this has served me well. And this is an easy 3-step plan that you can follow to start a career in web development, or like I said, if you're at a crossroads, you're a more experienced person, you can also use this as well to kind of help figure out what are you going to do with the skills that you have acquired over the years. So without further ado, let's get started. Oh, hit the left button. There we go. Very short presentation today. This is what I call the 3L step plan. You're going to do 3 learnings. The first thing is, if you're a beginner, you're looking to get into this field, you're learning a coding skill, all right? So for me, all these years, I've only stuck with HTML and CSS with some JavaScript, all right? Now, you're learning a coding skill, you're learning how the syntax works, you're learning the naming conventions, you're learning all the basics, all the fundamentals. These things are very core for you to learn even still in 2023, regardless of all the emergence of AI and everything else. It is good for you to know how the coding, the programming languages work online. Depending on what you're trying to get into, whether you're front end or back end, from my experience, understanding how code works has been key and essential for me to still help out people in this field today. Now, what do I do with that? Now, it's not enough, even with that being said, all right? Because you learning this when it comes to debugging, when it comes to troubleshooting things, when it comes to you understanding how a website works and how the framework works that you're using, understanding and actually practicing coding from scratch is going to get you to a place to where you're going to be light years above your competition. Even if this is about speed or whatnot and you got all these no-code platforms, if you're trying to be a developer, you need to be able to understand how the code works. You should be coding, you should be at least spending 6 hours coding. When I was doing this way back in 2011, 2012 at DeVry, I had coding books, I had HTML books. I wanted to understand how to be able to read. If I was to turn on the developer tools, I want to be able to go in and be able to understand and highlight certain things and understand how the HTML, what a child element is, how the tags are nested, all the conventions, all the language and the way that you speak about this. I wanted to understand it all. What does this HTML, what does this CSS over here mean? How does this work with and communicate with the HTML that's over here on the left-hand side? That type of knowledge, that understanding is still very much so beneficial. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick a coding skill. And I always recommend a trifecta: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And actually, you can actually learn HTML and CSS and go even deeper with JavaScript, because JavaScript's probably going to be your bigger moneymaker. But even still, though, I still do well with just understanding HTML and CSS, and it served me well. And I'm about to explain and show you some examples of that here in a second. Now, you need to take that coding skill that you learned. So let's say, for example, I'll even go to JavaScript route, and then I'll come back to me in terms of what I'm doing. But let's say, for example, you understand JavaScript. You've been coding JavaScript. You made some custom applications, modules just with JavaScript and scripting and the style sheet languages of HTML and CSS. You built some things. But now your job won't be actually coding from scratch. All right, now you're going to take everything that you understand from learning this coding skill, and you're going to apply that to understanding a framework. Okay, if you were doing WordPress, you would learn PHP, even though you probably won't be coding any PHP or WordPress websites from scratch. It's still good for you to understand how PHP works, so you can have more control. You can be able to you have the power to be able to manipulate a very malleable WordPress website on demand at your command to customize it any way that you see fit, to insert any sort of plugin, modify plugins, customize the website however you need, going beyond just editing the CSS for the theme. You'll be able to have more ability and power to do whatever it is that you want to do to that WordPress website if you understand PHP. So that's what I mean. So if you're learning a coding skill such as PHP, you would take that in the framework or the CMS you would learn is WordPress. Now, why is it that you can't just learn a coding skill and just go over here and jump over here to a client or a consumer group? Because these platforms already exist to make it easier for you to go ahead and have something to work with in order to create faster for the client that you're going to be actually working with in the future. So for me personally, I've learned several frameworks. I understand WordPress, Wix, other, what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG platforms. But if you're learning JavaScript, learning React, learning Angular, learning those frameworks, taking your JavaScript knowledge and applying it there, that's going to make you even more valuable, because nobody right now is actually like looking for programmers to actually code from scratch. All right, if you're going at this indie, maybe an employer is, or whatever the case may be, because maybe they want to have some custom things. But most of those companies that are actually hiring people are looking for people who already understand a framework, because it's something that's universal that can be worked on all together. All right, so you want to learn a coding skill. Do you want to actually master some sort of framework? For me, I take my HTML and CSS knowledge and I actually do things with Vimeo TT, and I've actually moved on to customizing and helping people with their streaming platforms such as Uscreen and Vimeo TT. So that's what I mean when I say learning a coding skill and then learn a framework or CMS, content management system. Take what you're learning, those things that you're learning from scratch, and you want to have some projects that you want to move forward to learning a framework or CSS, get some projects under your belt. Project-based learning. I talked about that, I think, a couple of videos ago. That's been a recurring thing within all my videos. But project-based learning is something even I teach my middle schoolers. It teaches you how to work backwards, because your project is actually going to dictate to you the type of skills that you need to learn in order to accomplish that. But if you're somebody that's just starting, you could work with the trifecta and then learn a framework, go from there, master that framework, and then you want to go ahead and go to a consumer group that is using or needs help with that framework. So, for example, if you're learning HTML, CSS, and PHP, skip over JavaScript. You're learning HTML, CSS, and PHP, and then you start learning WordPress. Well, you're going to want to find people. You're going to want to find beginners who need their WordPress websites built, who need a blog built, who they need a whole e-commerce website built, WooCommerce, all that other stuff. If you're using Shopify, this is another thing. If you're using Shopify, you're using Liquid code, all right? You're using a code called Liquid, all right? I think that's what Shopify uses. Then the code here is Liquid. And then right here is going to be Shopify, which is the platform, the content management system, e-commerce. And then you're going to look for Shopify customers. That's what you're going to look for. And that's the easiest way for you to run this. So you're not sitting up here, because I know a lot of people get into this and they're like, I don't know where to begin. There's so much to learn. I don't even know where to start. I'm giving you a very easy platform and direction for you to go to kind of help you out and kind of figure out what you need to do. Because if the goal for you is to get employed, if you take this framework and you start getting clients under your belt, you start doing some stuff for free to get some projects under your belt, some real-time projects, employers will take notice, your name will start getting around. That's what's happened to me over the years I've been doing this, all right? I haven't went full-time or anything like that, because I personally enjoy teaching too much, because I want to go ahead and address that, elephant in the room. Why, if this works so well, why are you still teaching or whatnot? Teaching is doing me justice right now. And I don't, most of my time at this moment is shifting away from a lot of web development and still doing, I'm actually shifting more into the content creation side of things, if I'm honest with you. So, yes, I'm one of those people. But I still get web development clients that hit me up for some projects. And one of the things I'm going to show y'all here email that I actually got for Vimeo OTT CSS customization. It was actually a very quick, some quick money and everything to do a consultation and to change a few things on his website just with my CSS knowledge, and because I worked with Vimeo OTT. So that's me taking my CSS knowledge, applying it to a content management system, which is a streaming platform, which is Vimeo OTT and Uscreen, and then working with people who users, business people who are using these platforms. They need help with the design area. They need help moving and shifting some things around that can only be done with CSS, or they need a complete overhaul. So I'm giving you the game at this moment, so you don't have to sit up here and ask the question, what people do I need to work with? Who do I need to look for? These two things are going to help guide and show you what type of client base, consumer group that you need to be looking for, so you're not just out here flailing around and looking confused and just randomly just trying to get hired by people. You need to have a specific direction, a specific goal in mind, a game plan early. And you have YouTube, you have people like me and Joe Santos of Coding Phase, and Ivan Hurt with email development. You got all these people that are showing you, giving you some things that you can get started on. You need to find out, probably play around with a few coding languages, see what your strengths are, and go in that direction, though. But this is to kind of give you a mold that you can fit into, learn a coding skill, then learn a framework or a content management system. Like I said, framework, Angular, if you're proficient in JavaScript, or you super proficient in JavaScript, Angular, React. If you're just going to stick with your HTML and CSS knowledge, I probably should better emphasize those with you. Learn WordPress. Learn how to edit WordPress themes for people. If somebody picks up a WordPress theme or a Genesis theme or Divi theme, whatever the case may be, your CSS and HTML knowledge is going to help you be able to customize that theme even more advanced than what's already available with the tool set. And you'll be able to understand how those content management platforms even work even more. Trust me, I've been doing this for years, and I've been able to help people way beyond and explain things to them and teach them how to use their own website just because of my base coding language. All those years, the 2 years I took to just practice and code from scratch. All right. And then your customer client group is going to come from these two areas that you're already learning. So this is super important, especially this part right here, because a lot of people, they don't want to get into the marketing side or the actual business. This is the actual business side. A lot of people like to stay here. Oh, I just want to code websites, or I don't want to have to talk to anybody. I don't want to have to talk to people. If you want to be successful at this, you're going to have to talk to people. You're going to have to start seeing people beyond their email address or as just some data group online, as just some number. All right. This is the business aspect right here. This is how you're going to be successful, and this is how you're going to get hired by an employer. So I actually had a job working in web design and development for like a year. Then I just went back to the classroom. I enjoy teaching this stuff to younger people so they can actually have the game early, and they could go ahead and make career decisions by the time they get into high school and when they get ready to graduate. So, but this is the business side. This is the one thing that I want to emphasize right here, that you have to be able to pinpoint, and I'm going to give you some easy direction on how to find the people that you need to work with. So if you learn Liquid and you're building Shopify websites, or you even start here, you want to say, I want to work with Shopify, but I want to learn how to code, where you need to learn Liquid. Then you come back and these two work hand in hand. Then you need to know that you need to find people. You need to just simply find Shopify users who needs their website set up. And that's the game, man. It's a very simple, the 3L, the 3 learning framework plan that I'm giving you right now. That's going to be it for this video. I don't have no video recommendations. Stay tuned. We got some good stuff coming up on the DLJ Works channel. Thank you guys for watching this little tutorial, and I will see y'all in the next video. God bless you.